Hi, my name is Sky Eddie Bruce. I am the founder of Soccer Parenting, and I'm so excited to be talking today to Thomas Finley, the CEO of Charlotte Independent Soccer Club. I've been collaborating with him and a great group of people on the launch of One Club, One Love, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it. Thomas, what was the impetus? What was the why behind the One Club, One Love game plan?
I think the why is it's always part of our values. The why, when you kind of rewind to the time frame of May and everything that happened with George Floyd and Black Lives Matter, the philosophy and the social unrest and the emotion that came with that within everybody being at home and talking and sharing ideas. I think for us as a club, we're always talking about impacting and influencing children, and obviously that's on the soccer field, but soccer is not just on the field, it's off. It's about respect and how you interact with people. And I think at the end of the day, when you're sitting there and looking at it, you've got to understand, I think, the why ultimately comes down to also why not. Let's impact and influence our staff, our parents, our members. And that, I guess that's the why at the end of the day. It was more just a feeling, and there was a lot of commonality with people, and yourself included, that wanted to get involved and change things and create a new path forward.
Excellent. You know, culture is values, beliefs, behaviors, sort of all pushed together. How do you anticipate specifically that the One Club, One Love program will really impact the club culture?
I think culture for me, like you said, right? I think if you would say to someone, "What are you proud about your club?" Right? Anybody can say, "This is what I'm proud about." I think that's what they're really talking about is culture. When they can say, "I'm proud about the environment. I'm proud about the people and how they interact with each other." For me, that's culture, and I think One Club, One Love will ultimately, and we've got it now. We've got people talking about it now, and we're saying, "Listen, I'm proud to be part of this club. I'm proud to be part of a club that talks about values, that talk about, hey, we got to treat the kids how to respect each other, how to respect the game of soccer on the field, and not use these terminologies or microaggressions to as an excuse to vent. And it's all about respect on the field. So I think for me that it becomes part of the culture. Because one day we can sit and say we're proud that this is our position, this is our game plan, moving forward. And I think for me, there's a lot of things we're proud about at the club. It's our values, it's our staff, it's the relationships we have with our players, it's the impact that we have on children's lives, whether they're going on to be professional soccer players or whether they're going on to be a referee or a fan. At the end of the day, it can sit and watch the first team, or and they pass that on to the children. And I think, for us, part of the Independence Way isn't just what we teach the kids, it's how you make them feel. And kids will always remember that, the impact you have on their lives and their childhood and the memories they share with their friends and teammates. And I think that ultimately is the culture and that's the impact we want with One Club, One Love.
Love it. So the One Club, One Love logo is a heart. It's demonstrative of diversity with, multiple colored hands surrounding a soccer ball. How specifically are you planning on using the logo throughout the club?
Um, well, I'm going to give you a plug because it was your idea to do the heart. So thank you, Sky, for your support there. I think for us, no, the logo, the shield, right? That's for soccer. That's your badge of honor. That's on your uniform, and that's on the building when you walk into the offices or the stadium. And I think that's reminiscent across every country in the world when it comes to soccer. The logo, for us, well, everybody wants to do branding. You want to you want to market, you want to advertise who you are as a club. I think the One Club, One Love logo will be used, obviously outside of the uniform, but it could be on T-shirts. It will be on letterheads when we send out information in regards to visiting teams about this is the environment we want at the club. It will be used on banners at the complexes in the stadium. And no, we just approved a flyer yesterday for a community involvement event, and no, it's right there, smack at the top. So I think it will be hopefully recognizable for fundraisers, for tournaments, for visiting teams, for referees to know, for signage at the fields, for people to understand. Ultimately, once they see it, our challenge is to make sure they understand what the connection is, that we stand firmly against racism. This is our game plan as a club. This is where we are, and this is what we believe in, and then people can tie that in. So we'll use it just like any other branding exercise. No, it's going to be everywhere.
That's great. Let's dive into some specifics. So what is available to players through the One Club, One Love program at Charlotte Independent Soccer Club?
Yeah, so listen, I think it's a balance, right, Sky? So we're not the parents. We know that, we get it, right? But we have to create an environment where we provide content, whether it's a library, whether it's videos, or whether it's opportunities for them to be involved in discussion groups. We want to provide an environment where the players can pull the content towards them. We obviously don't want to push it on top. And then one of the first things is when we came out with this, a lot of parents were like, does this mean like before each game you're going to talk about racism? And we're like, no, it's not about that. But what we're going to do is, when we talk about teamwork, when we talk about unity, and when we talk about solidarity and staying together collectively as a team, we can train our staff to be confident to talk about racism and what it is. And so the players, the older players, will have opportunities to be involved in discussion groups. Will this help them go to college and be more in a diverse community and interact better? So I think it's more learning opportunities, more discussion opportunities, and they're talking about it anyway. Well, let's be honest, the kids are talking about it at all ages. So we want to provide them opportunities where they can pull content and information, whether it's through the webpage, whether it's through documents, and then also be involved in direct conversations if they wish.
That's great. I love it. Let's talk about the coaches from the coach side of things. What type of coach education, or I should say, how is coach education going to change at Charlotte Independence based on the One Club, One Love program?
So I don't think it will change much as far as the frequency and the quantitative amount of the volume of education. But what we're trying to do here is not an exact science, right? So it's not going to be like, hey, we've got a game plan, there you go, study it, read it, take the video, pass the exam, and you're good to go. We're talking about compassion training. We're talking about empathy, how to deal with very difficult situations that could be very confrontational. So there's going to be, I think what's going to be different is a lot of coaches in the industry, which is very accurate, want to know the new training sessions. They want to know what Pep Guardiola is doing with Man City, how to high press. And I think what we're going to be talking more about is how to manage a locker room, how to manage kids, how to manage conversations, how to manage a kid who may come from an environment where it's been tough, or they got stopped or something, for driving, whatever that is, for recognizing things and be like, hey, you okay today? Rather than, hey, shake it off and get on the field. So I think that's going to be the difference. It will be less X and O's, but it will be more about reading players, reading situations, and how to deal with very difficult situations that may occur on the field.
That's great. I mean, just such an unusual type of coach education, and so important as we bring everything together. I love it. How can parents get involved, or what's their role in this?
Be parents. Be comfortable talking about it with staff, trusting staff, helping us, right? We don't know all the answers. Anything we're learning is being involved in task force meetings and conversations, and understanding that we're not trying to be a parent to the kids, but we're actually trying to help them in the development as a soccer player, in the development as a person. No, there's a lot of different aspects involved here, and parents, I think, for us, you can be involved in conversations. We had a discussion group yesterday, and there was 6 parents from the club, and it was fantastic. And you're walking away going, okay, how can we implement this in the club? How can we talk to staff about this? How do we understand from a parent standpoint what's important to them? Sometimes we do, coaches know all the answers, right? But we don't. So I think parents being part of the solution in helping, and reading the material, having content where they can pull from too. And I've got kids. I've been involved in a situation where something was said, and it's like, and you don't know how to react. And so by talking about these situations, not what you do at home, but how you interact with your kid around soccer. Maybe we can help.
That's great. Let's talk just briefly about sideline behavior and what impact you think the One Club, One Love program will have when it comes to sideline behavior.
I think, listen, we all, I think sideline behavior is very, very important. Obviously, you know that, Sky, with soccer parenting. I think that can influence the environment. I think for us, it's more of an empowerment thing. We want people to understand, no, even through our Let Us Play campaign, where we say, hey, this is the coach's role on the field, this is the player's role, this is the parents. Let's not shout instructions. By all means, cheer and applaud and support your kid and the team, but let's not communicate and interact from a soccer standpoint. So I think One Club, One Love is the same thing, that we're going to say and empower by talking and educating our parents that, hey, if that happens on the field, that's not cool. We're not going to stand for that. And we want you to understand, if it's an opposing team, if it's one of our members, or if it's an opposing parent or a player, that we're going to empower our coaches to say, hey, referee, we're not going to let that go. And so for us, it's not like we're going to be walking around with a microphone and tape recording everything in policing situations. But if something happens on the sideline, we're not going to ignore it. We're not going to turn a blind eye. We're not going to be passive. We're going to understand, hey, this is our position, whether you agree with it or not, and that's not allowed at this environment. And so I think that's what we want to do with the sideline.
Excellent. I applaud you all for taking a stand there and being really clear. I've been really proud to be on the committee that has developed the One Club, One Love program. Can you just maybe give a little bit of backstory for your membership and for those listening, just to understand how this program was developed and what your process is for launching?
It's kind of, it's hard to remember that, but I think it wasn't like a scientific approach, where we sat down with a piece of paper and we say, okay, we need this type of person, we need this person. I think through a lot of things that were happening over social media and reading stuff, because we were all in lockdown in May, we started talking to people and being like, I can't believe this is happening. Wow, how's this going to impact? And then you started seeing all these statements pop up. And a lot of companies, big businesses, made a lot of statements. And to use a friend Mark Wright's quote, they get 1 point for doing that. For us, we didn't want to just make a statement. We really didn't. For me, I felt, and we used the phrase thinly veiled, and it bothered me a little bit seeing these statements pop up, because in a week they're gone. And we wanted to make sure, if this is important to us, if this is something we truly value, then let's not just make a statement. Let's develop something. Let's build something that impacts and influences kids. So I think that's where it came from. And then it was easy to say, hey, Keith, what do you think about this? And he's like, I'm in. Mark, what do you think about this? I'm in. And even you, Sky, and I want to say this, on this camera, that you have a very fond passion for impacting soccer, and I think that's why you concentrate on the parent side of things, because that has a massive influence. And to even reach out to you and say, hey, we're doing this, do you want to get involved, was such an easy decision, right? And so I think what we got was a lot of people that were very passionate about soccer and impacting and influencing kids' lives. But it was also people, it wasn't just like-minded people. There's a lot of diversity in what we're doing here with the task force. But we got a lot of people that really had energy and saying, you know what, enough's enough. Let's do something now. And I think that's really what the task force committee came. And then I think we've met every week, maybe missed 1 week, July the 4th, but we've met every week since the end of May, beginning of June. And it's been enjoyable getting to know everybody, and we've had some fun, but it's been heavy. There's been emotional, it's been heavy, right? And so I think that's it. It's been a great group of people that's fond of soccer and want to impact kids.
Well, you have had some great action, and I look forward to following the One Club, One Love program in the future, and really, again, applaud just you and your leadership and the club and your community for coming together to do something, because this is very actionable and noteworthy. So I hope that this video just gives parents at the club and those listening just some insight into the whole program and how holistic it is in trying to tackle racism in sport and trying to make a difference in the lives of children. So thanks for your time today, and thanks for all your efforts with this.
No, thank you, and thank you for your support in doing this.